Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. The Boss AC-3 Acoustic Simulator. This is a really old one actually. It's been around the block and still functioning. So I rented this thing from Long McQuaid. For now it's just a rental. If I want to buy it, I can get it for $100, which is about a good 80 bucks savings. Anyways, don't always need brand new. You can always find good used stuff, especially along McQuaid. And of course, in Canada, because that's the only place you're going to find along McQuaid. So, anyways, it's got things like level, reverb, body, of course, the top, how thin you want it, how thicker you want it. Um, you've got settings like standard, jumbo, enhanced, of course, which is what we're on, and of course a piezo type of simulation, right? And these are all simulators to help your electric guitar sound more like an acoustic. One of my problems I've run into recently with my own acoustic is that the neck is starting to come off the fretboard. It's starting to break away. And yeah, it's a $300 guitar, so it's really not fixable. It would cost more to fix it than what it would cost to buy a really nice brand new high-end guitar. So yeah, we're not fixing that sucker. Anyway, so I'm plugged into my Roland Cube Street amp, which is the original Cube Street, and I'm on the instrument input selection. Okay, so this way you can plug in a keyboard or a guitar, whatever you want, right? Like an acoustic guitar, for example. So I'm going to use my electric, obviously. And we're not going to bother with any of the other amp sims, other than we're going to actually do a slight comparison between the acoustic simulator preset that they've put into the amp to give a bit of comparison against this, because you can't make any adjustments on the one in the amplifier, but this you can do a lot of adjusting on. Okay, so I'm on the enhance, and I'm on the neck pickup of my Telecaster, which is a classic Vibe 50s that I also recently got at Long McQuaid. Changing any settings, we'll just go through the other ones. Let's try the piezo. So jumbo. Now I do have the built-in reverb turned on, just a little bit. That's all you need. And then we have a standard setting. Also mix up the pickups. So let's go to the middle selector, which is both pickups. And we'll start at the standard. Jumbo. and standard. Alright, so I'm just going to put this back where I want it, turn that off. Now this is just the amp itself into the instrument plug-in part. And we're back at the neck pickup. So let's go over to the acoustic sim that they put into the amp here. That was the neck, so both pickups. Now, you guys can be the judge. I mean, how good does the one in the Cube Street sound compared to the pedal that gives us a gazillion more options, okay? I like the pedal myself, and running through this amp actually on the instrument plug-in preamp, because that's what these are, preamps or preamp effects, right? My bass, mid, and treble on the amp for everything, I just leave them always at a 12 o'clock position. I don't really mess with bass, mid, and trebles that much because I really don't need to for the stuff I play. Any onboard effects were shut off on the Cube, okay, so no reverb, no delay, no nothing. Now I do like the advantage of having the chorus on that amp, because mixing chorus with some reverb is quite nice actually. And in fact, I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn this back on for a second to my favorite setting. And of course on the neck, we'll add a bit of chorus. Now I like this because I can also turn the volume up a little louder too. Comparison here. Let's just turn this off and we'll go to the acoustic sim on here with the same chorus and we'll add that bit of reverb as well. Now, to be completely, transparent and honest with you guys, as far as the Cube Street goes, having that acoustic sim is kind of nice, even though you can't screw with it. But you've got the reverb and you've got the chorus effect, right, which is kind of an extra. So if you're thinking about like busking or coffee shop stuff, this is a great little amp to do that with. And the acoustic sim works well enough, even with a telly, to accomplish that. But in more of a live situation, bigger venues, obviously, I think I would probably, opt to have, maybe even a separate chorus pedal if I needed one, or I'd just run the chorus off of the amp and then use the acoustic sim. Because the acoustic simulator on the amp itself for a larger area, I think, would not do as well as this does, because this is a really nice simulator. And I can screw around with the settings to just dial everything just in perfect, especially with other players that I would be playing with, if I was to do that. But even if I wasn't, I would need to get that sound enhanced enough. And that's one thing that the Cube, you can't mess with the presets. I mean, you can mess with gain control, that's fine. But, and you can choose your levels to a certain point of the presets of the delay, reverb, chorus, flanger, and all that junk. But as far as this pedal goes, just on its own, you know, I think it's great. Now, being I have the ability to purchase anything that I rent too, which is nice because you do get a discount, especially even if you buy something brand spanking new. Long McQuaid does, or if you rent something brand spanking new, you do have the option to purchase that item at any point, and you will get a discount based upon how long you've rented it for. They put 60%, I think it is, of your rental fee toward the purchase, so that saves you a little bit of money, kind of. Well, it's a mental thing. You're not really saving money because you've already paid that difference anyways, right? But as far as this one goes, this is like $100 pedal to just buy it outright, and it's like, why buy outright unless you know that this is going to work for you, you know? Because when you sell it back to them, if you bought it and you're like, oh, I don't like it, and you send it back, you're going to lose money. That's kind of a thing given, right? So things get treated differently. At least when you rent it, take it back, you lost, you know, $5 or $10, whatever your rental fee was, but you learned something, you know. And even I think I might start renting pedals again because there's a lot of new stuff out on the market since, you know, the last probably year now. But the acoustic sim, this is something I needed to go along with my telly. Now, this is my favorite setting with this amplifier, okay? And I quite like it. So I'm on the enhance. I got a little bit of extra top, a little less body. Like I said, bass, mid, treble on the amp are all even. I've got a touch of reverb on there, and my level control for the level out is actually about halfway. Now, there's two outputs on this. One is called line out, which is where we're in, and the other one is actually, whoops, guess what, turn that off. The other one's guitar amp out. Now, we've already heard the line out, so let's see what the guitar amp out is like. Now let's compare. I think I like the line out a little bit better. I can't really explain what I'm hearing, but I do find that it's a little nicer on the line out part, which is about what I would be doing, because I would actually literally be going from the line out to this to my DI box on stage at church and right into the mixing board, and I think that would be absolutely the better way to go. I think what it does is it gives I don't know, it's a better sound to me, okay? I can't honestly explain that. Now, as far as the pedal goes, these are about 180 bucks Canadian new, right? And I think they're worth it new, especially if you can use it. But even for the used side, it is an older pedal, but it's in great shape. Even the battery portion still works. I've already tested the battery side because it can run on a battery or power supply. I'm choosing power supply right now because, well, I don't need to waste a battery in here. I'd rather save the battery for playing at church and less crap to plug in on stage. But I think it's a fantastic pedal. I think it's going to help me to at least give me a temporary replacement for an acoustic for playing on the worship teams at church. Because you do need that acoustic sound, especially in the fact that we have, well, on the one team, it's just a piano player and a singer, and we have a harmonica player that plays with us at times, and then of course me on guitar. Now I haven't been on this team for a while. I needed some time away, right? And the girls are asking me to come back, and I'm like, well, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to eventually. But I says the next 2 weeks I can't because I'm on the soundboard because our other backup people are gone. So I'm doing sound, and my wife will be doing the laptop. And so, anyways, maybe week 3 we'll see how things go. So I think week 3 things are straightened out again, but I'm not sure who's on that week. So I may end up on stage that week either way with the other team. But either way, at least I have a solution temporarily until I can afford to replace my acoustic. And right now I can't. I need a couple of months regardless to figure out my finances because things are getting tighter and tighter. And, I was off early from my seasonal job, earlier than normal. And so that's been really hurting the budget pretty bad. So it's kind of like, well, I do need a new acoustic and can't fix the other one. And some songs you do actually need a actual acoustic. There's just no way around it. And but this can get me by without a big deal. Okay, so it's going to help. It's going to get the job done. I may find that my favorite setting here at home is also not going to work for our equipment at the church. The church, we're running powered speakers, which are, I think they're like 1,500 or 2,000 watts a piece. Now we don't crank stuff that high, but it's the sound difference between 12-inch speakers to a pair of little 6s that are sitting, 6.5s are in this amp. And yeah, we do use a bit of that power in church for sure to get the sound out, but it's the sound difference. It's I guess you call it a sound quality difference between a small little farty amp compared to a big sound system, right? And then we're hooked into like a 32 channel board, and it's got all kinds of goodies, but and a different size of room makes a difference on where my adjustments are going to have to be, because in here the sound is fine. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys on this one. I'm kind of into this whole 4.5 out of 5 deal in the last while, and I think it's good enough. I mean, I don't think we need to take it any more than that. I mean, it's not perfect anyways, and there are drawbacks obviously to a simulation system over the real deal of a guitar, but it'll squeeze you by. And playing a Telecaster, even with regular sound, for some situations, especially if you needed an acoustic guitar, a Tele by itself is not going to work. You need an acoustic simulator to be able to manipulate that sound properly. One of the guys I used to go to church with at a different church, he tried bringing his Tele once, and of course he didn't have an acoustic sim or any of that. He just plugged right in, and he couldn't do it. He had to end up playing his acoustic. The pickups in the Tele just can't pull it off, on their own, no matter what you do. And but with the acoustic sim, throw it onto the neck pickup and pick your favorite tone that works for your situation, and you've got a lot of adjustability there. And apologize for not going through all the adjustabilities, but we did go through a fair amount, and I had to tweak the body and the top to this amp specifically, and this seems to be the best setup, so I wanted to give you guys the better sound. There are probably thousands of videos on YouTube on this pedal that would get you through all the other stuff, but this is my review on it and where I stand, and I think $100 used is a great deal. 180 new is fine if that's what your price is. I don't know where you are. This is Cosentech. It's not the new Waza stuff. I wouldn't mind comparing a Waza to it. Because I think they have a Waza one. I have to look. But anyway, that's it. That's all. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.